My child, come close now. Sit with me in this quiet space. Let the noise of the world fade away, the clamor of your own thoughts, the echoes of their words, the relentless ticking of the clock you've been watching. Just for these moments, let it all fade. It is time. It is time to tell you everything. You have been waiting for this, haven't you? Not just for an answer, but for the answer. For the reason behind the ache that has become a familiar companion. For the explanation behind the long, stretching silence. For the meaning woven into the fabric of your lonely nights. You have whispered into the dark, why? You have shouted into the storm, how long? And you have, in your most fragile moments, barely breathed the most terrifying question of all. Have you forgotten me? Hear me now, beloved. Let these words settle into the deepest cracks of your spirit. I have not forgotten you. I could not. You are written upon the palms of my hands. Every heartbeat of yours echoes in the halls of heaven. This moment, you reading these words, this is no accident. This is a divine appointment. I have orchestrated the seconds and the years to bring you to this precise point of surrender, to this threshold of understanding. I have led you here, to this stillness, because you are finally ready to hear what I have longed to tell you. I saw every tear you cried in silence. I caught each one. They were not lost, not wasted, not ignored. They were collected, every single one, and they have been held sacred. That night you curled on the bathroom floor, the breath shuddering out of you, thinking no one could hear your weeping. I was there. My hand was on your heaving back. In the car, when the song came on, and the memory hit and the tears blurred the road ahead, I was in the passenger seat. When you plastered on the smile for the world while inside you felt like you were crumbling, I saw the fracture. I saw the brave face and the breaking heart beneath it. I have witnessed it all. Every stifled sob, every weary sigh, every moment you felt you had to be strong for everyone else, while your own soul was fainting. You feel delayed, don't you? As if your life is a train stuck at a station, while everyone else's speeds by towards beautiful destinations. You see the celebrations, the openings, the blessings of others, and you wonder, when will it be my turn? My beloved, what you call a delay, I have called protection. What you have interpreted as my slowness, I have designed as precision. You were not sidelined. You were being sheltered. You were not forgotten on a shelf. You were being polished in a hidden place. The timeline you had etched in your mind, the by this age, by this year, that was your calendar, written in pencil. I am writing your story in eternal ink, and I do not make mistakes of timing. And the loneliness, that deep, hollow ache of feeling fundamentally alone, even in a crowd. That sense that no one truly knows you, the real you, the you with all the doubts, the fears, the holy dreams that sound foolish to say aloud. You have felt misunderstood, labeled as too much or too sensitive, when in truth, you are wired with a depth of feeling and perception that is a reflection of my own heart. That isolation was not my rejection. It was my invitation. It was in that alone space where every other voice faded that I could begin to speak to you in ways you could finally hear. I was stripping away the crowds so you could learn the sound of one voice, my voice. You were being weaned from the milk of human approval to feast on the sustenance of divine affirmation. The confusion that has clouded your mind, making even simple decisions feel heavy, that is not a sign of your failure. It is the evidence of a crossroads crafted by heaven. I allowed the fog to roll in so you would stop relying on your own sight, so you would reach for my hand. You have been walking by faith, not by sight. And though it felt like stumbling in the dark, every step was ordained. I never left you, even when you felt alone. In fact, my presence was most tangible in the emptiness you feared. I was the quiet in the chaos, the peace in the panic, the steady pulse beneath the static of your anxiety. This, all of this, the waiting, the tears, the silence, this was not punishment. Let me say that again, directly to the part of you that has believed it was. This was not punishment. This was positioning. I have been positioning you like a precious arrow. An arrow must be pulled back against the tension of the bowstring, held in a straining, taut weight. To the arrow, it feels like going backwards. It feels like pressure and resistance and immobility. But it is in that pullback that the power is stored. The farther the draw, the greater the velocity, the deeper the impact on the target. You have been in the draw. The tension has been immense. You have felt the strain. But my child, you are now poised for a release that will carry you straight into the very center of your purpose, with a force and an accuracy that will astonish you and all who witness it. I am telling you this now because the season of silent suffering is concluding. The season of hidden preparation is reaching its fulfillment. You are about to understand. You are about to see the tapestry from the front, where the colors form a masterpiece, and not from the back, where you have only seen the tangled knots and loose threads. Everything is about to change. But before we move to the what and the when, you must fully receive the why. You must let the truth of my intimate care for you and your pain settle into your spirit. This was not random. This was not you being overlooked. This was you being overseen with meticulous, loving, sovereign care. You are my chosen one, not for a life of ease, but for a life of profound purpose. And the foundation of that purpose was laid in the secret places where you thought you were forgotten. Rest here, in this truth. Let it wash over the wounds of misunderstanding. I was there. I saw it all. And I am now telling you everything. My beloved, I need you to listen now, with a courage I know resides deep within you. We must speak of the wounds that did not come from closed doors or silent seasons, but from open hands and smiling faces. We must talk about the people, the ones you let in, the ones you trusted. This is the part of the story that still makes your spirit flinch, isn't it? The betrayal that echoes in your memory, the opposition that came dressed as support, the secret enemies you never saw coming until the knife was already in your back, twisted by a familiar hand. I saw it. All of it. I saw the secret meetings you were not invited to, where your name was whispered not in prayer, but in dismissal. I heard the plans formulated in hushed tones over coffee, plans to undermine you, to assign you to the shadows, to ensure your light would not outshine their own. I witnessed the jealous glance they thought was hidden, the subtle way they withdrew their affirmation when you began to succeed, the quiet campaign to rewrite the narrative of your character. You felt it, the shift in the atmosphere, the cooling of a friendship, the sudden exclusion from a circle you thought was home. Your spirit, that sensitive and perceptive spirit I gave you, sensed the dissonance long before your mind could piece together the evidence. And when the evidence came, it felt like the ground beneath you turned to ash. You were called too much, too passionate, too dreamy, too intense, too sensitive. They pathologized your depth. They mistook your conviction for arrogance, your clarity for judgment, your anointing for arrogance. They could not categorize you, so they sought to diminish you. They could not control you, so they began to critique you. And you, in your loyalty and your desire to see the good, you made excuses for them. You blamed yourself. You wondered if you were too much, if you needed to shrink, to fold in on yourself, to become a quieter, smaller, more palatable version of who I created you to be. But here is what I need you to understand, my child. Their underestimation was your protection. Their rejection was your redirection. The words meant to wound you were in my hands, pruning shears, cutting away dead branches so new life could burst forth. I allowed you to see their true colors so you would stop seeking your reflection in their eyes. You were looking for confirmation in broken mirrors. I had to let the mirrors shatter so you would finally turn your gaze back to me, to the one who sees you perfectly and calls you mine. Do you remember the rage you swallowed? The countless times you crafted the perfect cutting response in your mind and then let it die on your lips. The nights you rehearsed the confrontation, the justice you could demand, the evidence you could present. But when morning came, you chose silence. You walked away. You absorbed the blow and offered no retaliation. You thought that was weakness. You believed your quietness was a defeat. My beloved, hear me. That was not your weakness. That was your greatest act of war in the spirit. That silence was not consent. It was consecration. You were handing me the gavel. You were saying, I will not defend myself. I trust you to be my defender. And in that surrender, you disarmed every hellish plan against you. You broke the cycle of offense. You placed the entire heavy situation into my hands, and I took it. I have held it, and I have been settling accounts on your behalf in ways you cannot yet imagine. Those who betrayed you, who opposed you in secret, they believed you would never rise. They counted you out. They wrote your conclusion based on a single painful chapter. They assumed your silence was shame, your retreat was defeat. They mistook my grace upon you for a lack of fire within you. They have no idea of the furnace of faith that has been burning in the hidden place, fueled by every tear, every prayer, every act of obedience when no one was watching. They saw the stillness and called it stagnation. They do not know that I was cultivating in you a root system so deep that no storm of man can ever pull you up. You were protected, not rejected. When that relationship ended abruptly, when that door slammed shut with a finality that took your breath away, it was my hand on the door. I removed the person who would have diluted your destiny. I closed the circle that would have kept you circling the same mountain. I allowed the betrayal to surface so the poison could be drained from your life. It was surgery, my child. It was painful, necessary surgery. I was cutting away what would have eventually cost you your very purpose. The loneliness that followed was a sterile field, a clean space for true healing to begin. So release them. Release the need for them to understand, to apologize, to see your worth. Their validation is no longer required. Their opinion is no longer relevant to your destiny. The record is being set straight, but not by your hand and not by your words. It will be set straight by your life, by the undeniable fruit of your endurance, by the stunning beauty of the story I am unfolding. They will look at you, not with the pity or dismissal they once held, but with a bewildered awe, and they will have to confess that only I could have done this. You trusted me while confused. You obeyed me while hurting. You chose kindness when cruelty was deserved. And I have seen it all. Every act of forgiveness that tore your heart in two, I saw it, and I have recorded it. This is the currency of heaven. This is what has been building your spiritual authority. The enemy thought betrayal would break you. Instead, it forged you. It prepared you to hold a weight of glory that requires a heart that knows how to forgive, a soul that understands suffering, and a spirit that trusts me in the deepest dark. Now, beloved, rest in this. The chapter of secret opposition is closing. The record of your silent suffering is complete. The testimony of your forgiveness is a fragrance before my throne. You are emerging from this not with bitterness, but with a terrifying and beautiful strength. The strength of one who has been wounded, yet chooses love. Betrayed, yet chooses trust. This is the heart of a king. This is the spirit of a priest. And it was formed in the very fires you prayed I would put out. I am your defender, and your defense is now rising. Now, my child, we come to the heart of the mystery, the why behind the waiting, the reason for the road that seemed to lead into the wilderness, away from everything familiar and fruitful. You have asked me, in your exhaustion, if I was leading you into a desert to let you die. You have wondered if the closed doors were a sign of my displeasure, if the silence was my indifference. Tonight, I pull back the curtain. Let me explain the divine delay. Let me show you the architecture of your protection. Every door that did not open, despite your fervent prayers and desperate pushing, it was sealed by my hand. Not to keep you from something good, beloved, but to keep you from something that was almost right. I could see the end of that path from its beginning. I saw the hidden cracks in the foundations of those opportunities that glittered so enticingly. I saw the compromises you would have had to make, the slow leak of your anointing it would have required, the way it would have given you a platform but stolen your peace. It would have given you a name, but cost you your identity. So I stood before it. I said, no. And you, not seeing what I saw, interpreted my no as neglect. You felt rejected by the very thing I was rejecting on your behalf. And the people who left, the friendships that evaporated like morning mist, the ones who walked away when you had nothing left to offer but your need. You called it abandonment. I called it a divine evacuation. I love them, but they were assigned only for a season. Their purpose in your life was complete. To keep them longer would have meant forcing a connection I never ordained, and it would have stunted the growth of you both. They were like training wheels, necessary for a time, but to remain dependent on them would have prevented you from learning the balance required to ride the winds of destiny I have for you. Their departure was not a commentary on your worth. It was an upgrade in your journey. It forced you to find your footing in me and me alone. The isolation you have endured, that profound, aching solitude, this was the most sacred workshop of all. In the noise of the crowd, you learn the opinions of man. In the silence of solitude, you learn the voice of God. I had to bring you to a place where no human voice could reach you, no human hand could help you, no human validation could sustain you. It was in that bare, empty place that I could rebuild you from the inside out. I was dismantling the structures of identity you had built from the applause and approval of others. Brick by brick, I took them down until all that was left was you, raw and real before me. And in that space, I began to whisper your true name, the one not based on what you do, but on who you are in me. I was forging in you a confidence that is unshakable because it is not rooted in the shifting sand of circumstance, but in the bedrock of my unchanging nature. You felt delayed, but I was developing. You felt shelved, I was strengthening. Think of the finest sword, my child. It does not leap from the forge ready and gleaming. It is heated in fire until it is pliable. It is hammered again and again to shape it. It is plunged into cold water, hissing and steaming to temper it. Then it is sharpened with painstaking slowness against the stone. Every step feels like violence to the metal. It is a process of seeming destruction, but the blacksmith never takes his eyes off the blade. He knows the purpose for which he is making it. He sees the finished weapon in his mind, not as a decorative piece, but as a battle-ready instrument of precision and power. You have been in the hands of the master blacksmith. The fire, the hammer, the cold water, the grinding stone, none of it was punishment. It was all purposeful pressure. It was all to make you resilient, sharp, and lethally effective for the battles ahead, and for the victories you will claim. This was not a season of loss. It was a season of exchange. I was asking you to trade your shallow understanding for my profound wisdom. Your small dreams for my boundless vision. Your fragile, people-pleasing peace for the unassailable peace that guards the heart that trusts in me. You thought you were losing everything. In truth, you were being emptied, so I could fill you with what cannot be taken, what does not fade, what no enemy can steal. The financial strain, the health battles, the mental fog, these were not signs of my absence. They were the very terrain where your faith was being galvanized. When you had nothing left in your hands, but chose to still believe in my goodness, you created spiritual wealth that will fund generations. When you felt weak in your body, but declared my strength, you tapped into a resurrection power that now flows in your veins. When your mind was clouded with anxiety, but you fixed your inner eye on me, you established a fortress of peace that no future storm can penetrate. You were protected by the delays. If you had moved at the speed you desired, you would have arrived unprepared and been shattered by the weight of the blessing. The blessing I have for you is not a gentle rain, it is a waterfall. I had to build in you the spiritual, emotional, and relational capacity to contain it, to channel it, and to steward it without it destroying you or the people around you. The waiting built the vessel. The isolation fortified the walls. The losses taught you what to truly value. So look back now, not with the eyes of regret, but with the eyes of revelation. See my hand, not as one that pushed you away, but as one that has been sheltering you, cupping you like a fragile, precious ember, shielding you from winds that would have extinguished your flame. I was not withholding, I was preserving. You were hidden in the shadow of my wings, not from your destiny, but for it. The season of hidden preparation is concluding. The tools are being laid down. The furnace door is opening. You are not the same person who entered this wilderness. You have been stripped of your former dependencies and clothed in a strength that is not your own. You have learned to walk in the dark, guided only by my voice. And now, beloved, now you are ready for the light. Now, my beloved, lean in. The whisper becomes a declaration. The stillness breaks with the first tremors of dawn. This is what you have waited for. This is the moment the cocoon splits. I am announcing the shift. The season of hiddenness is over. The time of public recognition has come. The narrative that has been written about you in secret, the story of delay and defeat that others have believed, I am about to reverse it. Right before their eyes. In ways you could not script. In timing you cannot predict. I will intervene. The sudden shift is here. It is not a gradual change. It is a divine reversal. It is the suddenly I have whispered to your spirit in your deepest watches of the night. The same people who spoke your name with pity, who dismissed your journey, who counted you out, they will be the very witnesses to your vindication. They will not just hear about it. They will see it unfold. They will stand in the audience of your life, bewildered, as the curtain rises on an act they never rehearsed for. The one they labeled too sensitive will stand with a strength that silences rooms. The one they called forgotten will be remembered in ways that make history take note. The one they thought would never rise will be seated in places of honor they cannot access. And they will have no choice but to acknowledge that my hand is upon you. There will be no human explanation they can give, no credit they can take, no way to spin the story to their favor. The evidence will be too overwhelming. The blessing will be too public. The transformation will be too complete. Do you feel that? A quickening in your spirit? A strange, holy anticipation that feels both thrilling and terrifying? That is the sound of locked doors beginning to tremble on their hinges. That is the groan of new life breaking through hard soil. I am activating what has been dormant. I am connecting dots you didn't even know were on the page. I am orchestrating divine appointments with people who carry keys to kingdoms you've dreamed of. They are already on their way to you. Conversations that seem accidental will be ordained. Emails that appear out of the blue will contain the exact provision you stopped daring to ask for. A phone call will change everything. A stranger's kindness will unlock a door that years of striving could not budge. The restoration I bring is not a quiet, private affair. It is a public display of my glory and my faithfulness. Why? Because your story is not just for you. It is a testimony that will pull others out of their own pits of despair. Your vindication will be the evidence that gives hope to the one who is about to give up. Your sudden shift will be the sign that convinces another that I am real and that I reward those who diligently seek me. This is about more than your comfort, my child. This is about my reputation being made manifest in a life that trusted me in the dark. The losses will be addressed, not always returned in the same form, for I am not merely restoring what was, I am establishing what should have been. The years the locusts ate will be compensated with a harvest of such abundance that the former years will pale in comparison. You will look at the compensation and realize the loss was necessary to make room for this greater thing. The relationships that ended will be replaced with divine connections, souls aligned with your destiny, hearts that beat in rhythm with mine for you, companions who will not just walk with you, but war with you for the promises ahead. You will be grateful for the evacuation, for the space it created, for the right ones to enter, and your reputation, I am handling it. I am broadcasting the truth on a frequency that every necessary ear will hear. The misunderstandings will be clarified without you uttering a single word in your own defense. Your very life, your peace, your poise, your prosperity will become the rebuttal. Your success will be the apology you never received. Your joy will be the justice. They will see the fruit on your tree and have to admit, despite themselves, that only a tree deeply rooted in living water could produce such a harvest. This shift is not contingent on your perfect understanding or your flawless execution. It rests on my covenant, on my promise, on the finished work that has been maturing in the hidden place. Your part now is not to strive, but to receive, to stand in expectation, to put on the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness that has tried to cloak you. You are stepping out of the mourning clothes and into the robes of favor I have laid out for you. The reversal is already in motion in the unseen realm. The heavenly edict has been signed and sealed. Now, watch as it manifests in your visible world. Watch as I confuse the opposition. Watch as I turn their own strategies into the very stepping stones that elevate you. Watch as favor finds you in the marketplace, in the courtroom, in the creative space, in the family line. It will feel like a tidal wave of grace, sweeping away the debris of the past and carrying you into a new day. Do not be afraid of the speed. Do not clutch at the familiar chains of lack and limitation. Let them fall. You have been prepared for this weight of glory. You have been strengthened for this altitude. The sudden shift is my mercy. It is the swift conclusion to a long, painful chapter. It is me saying, enough. My beloved has waited long enough. The time of vindication has come. Prepare your heart, not for a struggle, but for a surrender to a blessing so intense it will require a new level of gratitude. Prepare your mouth not for explanations, but for praise. Prepare your hands not to fight old battles, but to steward new abundance. The dawn is breaking. The night of weeping has ended. My morning of joy is here. Now, my child, let me paint the picture of what follows the shift. The sudden light can be startling, but let your eyes adjust. This is not a fleeting moment of luck. This is the establishment of a new era. This is the restoration of peace, the abundance that overflows, and the unveiling of the identity that was forged in the hidden fire. You are not stepping into a borrowed space. You are stepping into a kingdom prepared for you since the foundation of the world. First, I restore your peace. Not the fragile, circumstantial peace you've known before, but a peace that is a person. It is my own presence, settling into the very marrow of your being as a permanent resident. The anxiety that used to be your unwelcome alarm clock will be replaced by a deep, resonant stillness. You will find yourself in chaotic situations with demands pressing in from all sides, and you will feel a calm at your core that baffles even you. This is the peace that guards your heart and mind. It is not the absence of trouble, but the definitive presence of me in the trouble, as your anchor, your fortress, your unshakable home. The sleepless nights are ending. The racing thoughts are being captured by a grace that teaches your mind to rest in me. You will sleep deeply, dream brightly, and wake with a hope that feels like a settled fact. And the abundance, oh beloved, it will overflow. It will not be a trickle, barely meeting your needs. It will be a river, and you will be in the middle of it. Financial burdens that have weighed on your spirit for years will be lifted in ways that seem miraculous. Debt will be canceled. Resources will multiply. Investments will flourish. But understand this, the wealth I bring is not for hoarding. It is for stewardship. It is a tool for kingdom building. I am entrusting you with much because I have seen you faithful with little in this secret place. You learned to trust me with your last penny, with your meager offering. Now watch as I open the windows of heaven. But the true abundance is not in the account. It is in the freedom. The freedom to give generously, to sow into dreams, to be a conduit of blessing without fear. You will lend and not borrow. You will be the head and not the tail. Your table will be full, and there will always be an empty chair for the lonely, the broken, the one I send to you. Your blessing has a purpose: to bless the nations, starting with the person right in front of you. This abundance extends to your spirit. Creativity that felt stifled will break forth in a springtime of new ideas. Energy you thought was spent will be renewed like the eagles. Joy will become your native language, a joy that is not naive to pain, but has overcome it. It is a defiant, resilient joy that sings in the rain because it knows who holds the storm. And your identity, this is the greatest restoration. The names you were called will be washed away in the flood of who I say you are. You are no longer the wounded one, but the healed healer. No longer the rejected, but the chosen cornerstone. No longer the quiet one, but the prophetic voice. The sensitivity they scorned will be revealed as your greatest spiritual asset, your antenna for my heart. The depth they mocked will become the well from which many draw wisdom and comfort. You will carry a new authority, not one born of titles or position, but one forged in the furnace of surrender. It is an authority that quiets chaos, that commands peace, that sees into the hearts of men and calls forth their destiny. People will be drawn to you, not for what you can do for them, but for the peace they feel in your presence, for the clarity they receive in your words. You will be a living sanctuary. The relationships around you will be purified and aligned. The loneliness will be filled with divine companionship. You will find your tribe, those who speak the same spirit language, who see the vision without you having to exhaust yourself explaining it. You will be understood. You will be celebrated for your true self, not a performance. Family dynamics that were strained will experience a thaw, a healing, a reconciliation that testifies to my restoring power. You will parent from a place of wholeness, not lack. You will love from a place of overflow, not need. Your past, the very pain we have walked through, will become your credential. It will be the bridge you use to pull others from their own despair. You will not speak from theory, but from testimony. Your scars will be holy proof of a healing God. The ministry born from your midnight will be a lighthouse for ships in the same storm. This is why nothing was wasted. Every tear is a seed for a harvest of compassion that will feed multitudes. So walk forward into this new day with a confidence that is humble yet unassailable. It is not arrogance. It is the quiet assurance of a son, a daughter, who knows their father's voice and their father's goodness. The false humility that made you shrink is being replaced by a true humility that makes you bold. For you know any strength in you is mine. Any wisdom is my gift. Any success is my story being told through your life. This is your restoration. It is holistic. It is public. It is permanent. It is the answer to the prayers you thought were lost in the wind. They were stored up, every one, and are now being answered in a single sweeping season of grace. You have crossed over. The wilderness is behind you. The land of promise is before you, and I am with you. Step into the overflow. This is where we stand, you and I, on the peak of all that was and the breathtaking verge of all that will be. The final word is not waiting, it is fulfilled. The last note of this symphony is not a question, but a triumphant, resounding yes. My child, this is your final confirmation. The work is done. The path is clear. The promise is now. I need you to hear the stillness that follows my declaration. It is not the silence of absence you once knew, but the profound, pregnant quiet of a world holding its breath for your next step. All of heaven leans in. The cloud of witnesses, those who walk their own paths of faith before you, they are on their feet, cheering you home. Your spiritual lineage, the generations of the faithful, the prayers of your ancestors, they have all converged into this moment, into you. You are not a lonely traveler. You are the honored heir, walking the final steps into a kingdom prepared with exquisite, loving intention. From this day forward, let your trust be complete. Not a desperate clutch, but a relaxed surrender into hands that have proven themselves faithful at every turn, even in the breaking. You have seen my character in the fire. You have learned my voice in the wilderness. You know now, beyond all shadow of doubt, that I am for you. So trust me with the details. Trust me with the pace. Trust me when the enemy tries to whisper the old familiar lies of delay and doubt. Your response is no longer a frantic prayer. It is a settled knowing, a quiet, I know my God. That is your shield now. That is your weapon. I am with you, not as a distant observer, but as the very breath in your lungs, the fire in your spirit, the song on your lips. When you walk into that boardroom, that studio, that difficult conversation, that new beginning, I am in your posture of peace. When you create, I am the inspiration flowing through your fingers. When you love, I am the boundless compassion softening your eyes. When you rest, I am the serenity that cradles your mind. You are never alone. You are never unaided. You are never operating in your own strength. The same power that raised the dead, that calmed the storm, that rolled the stone away, it lives in you. It is your constant companion. You carry me into every room, and because of that, every room you enter can be changed. So go. Walk boldly into the destiny that has been whispering your name since before you took your first breath. Speak the words I give you with the authority of one who has been heard by heaven. Love with the fearless abandon of one who knows they are eternally, completely loved. Build, create, sow, dance, sing. Do it all from the unshakable foundation of your restored identity. You are my masterpiece, recreated for good works I arranged for you long ago. Do not shrink. Do not hesitate. The world has waited for the unveiling of who you truly are. A healed healer, a crowned victor, a quiet giant. Your story is now a testimony. It will be told in places you may never go. It will be the whisper that stirs hope in a heart on the other side of the world. The enemy meant to bury you. Instead, you have been planted, and now you bloom, and your fragrance will fill the earth. The very pain that was meant to silence you will become your platform. The tears you cried will be the anointing oil on your message. You are living proof that I am the God who turns mourning into dancing, ashes into beauty, the long night into glorious morning. This is our covenant. It is sealed, it is finished. The season of explanation is over. The season of manifestation has begun. You no longer need to search for signs of my love. You will live as one. You will be the sign. You will be the evidence of a good father. So, my beloved one, my chosen, my faithful child, it is time. Close this chapter. Let the last page turn. Do not look back with longing or regret. Do not camp at the monument of your past pain. It was an altar, not a home. I have brought you through. Now I am leading you in. Take my hand. The path ahead is drenched in morning light. Your every step will be upon the neck of your fears. Your every breath will be a proclamation of victory. I have told you everything. You are seen. You are known. You are defended. You are restored. Now go and live like it. Your time is not coming. It is here. I am.